Did your teacher ever tell you to use paper clips, coins, or beans to count 50 repetitions of a hard passage on the piano? Hi, my name is Lisa Maria Blanco. I'm a classical pianist and performance coach, and today I would like to talk about mindless mechanical repetition. During my education, a lot of musicians and also teachers talked about repetition, and most of them suggested exercises such as what I was talking in the beginning, using paper clips or beans to count endless repetitions, or at least 50 or 25 good repetitions of difficult passages. But I always struggle with that concept because in my mind, it is not logic to repeat something if you don't know exactly what to do. And if you're not 100% sure that you're doing it correctly in the best way. Because every time you repeat something, you are enforcing movement, that knowledge, that feeling, that sensation. And if you're enforcing something that is not correct, or that it doesn't feel natural or comfortable for you, then you're even creating more problem, and you could be facing problems with tension and pain or even illness. So today I would like to point focus on how to practice. What could we do for a correct practice to enforce the natural way for our body to play a hard passage? I would say when you have a difficult piece, like you just heard the Ballade number 2, opus 38 by Chopin, I would go to the difficult passages, of course, and I will spend much more time on them because they need more time. For example, in the beginning, I'm not going deeper into the cantabile passages from this piece, which is the whole first part. And this piece, just like in many Chopin pieces, and I would say almost all of them, we have sections of difficult or very difficult passages for pianists. In this case, it starts in page 21 in the Presto con fuoco, what I was playing in the beginning. And this is such a contrast with what we were playing before. We ended the sottovoce, the very cantabile and quiet melody, and suddenly Presto con fuoco, with fire. Chopin wants us to play with fire, very like with energy. And most of people would think I need to tension my muscles, or I need strength, or then if they think about fire or energy, they tension their body and their muscles, and that's exactly the wrong approach. I would say the best way to think about this passage is just finding, as we talked about in the first video, the support and release points. If you haven't checked it out, please go and see the playlist I've created for this whole group of masterclasses. For these passages, it would be great, and I would say is the foundation, to use the 4 core pillars I talk about in my playbook, in my free piano technique foundation playbook, which if you haven't seen it yet, please go to the description. In the link, you will find the playbook with 5 exercises to start transforming your hand bridge and the strength of your hands, which is going to be extremely useful and I would say essential to be able to play these kind of passages. To start the Presto con fuoco, I would talk about the right hand, which we have arpeggios, descendant and ascendant arpeggios. The first thing we have to be clear about is the first note, which is a third, major third, that we're gonna play with fourth and fifth finger, which are the weakest fingers of our hands. So Chopin wants us to really work on the strength of those fingers. If we don't work on the strength of these fingers, we won't be able to hold this third. And the only way to play these thirds clean is by holding the thirds. So you're gonna, let's write it in the score. This is gonna be a support point where you're gonna hold and rest your weight. And I would say when you're playing with the fifth and fourth, these fingers, the weakest fingers of your hand, you have to help them. And the way to help them is moving your wrist a bit to the right. That way you can emphasize the weight on them. And even you can rest better. And as you see, these three notes are played almost by impulse. I already have the three notes in my hand, in my fingers. E, C, A. And then, when I finish the impulse, I hold it again. I hold my hand, the right part of my hand, and continue with the impulse. I would say this is a good exercise to practice this. You hold it, and hold it, play fast. Hold it, play fast, hold it, play fast, hold it, play fast. If it's dirty, it's because you're not preparing correctly the fingers. And also it could be a problem of strength. These arpeggios, we have the support point in each thumb. So we find it here. I won't write them all. So, and I would say the biggest one is in the first note, G sharp. And then we start releasing the weight. And this would be a release point. You see? We release the tension and the weight. So, let's wrap it up. And also, we come from here. So the last release point should bring us to the next support point. So you relax the tension and then hold the next note. So you see everything is connected. And let's play it extremely slow so we can control all the movements we have to embody, we have to learn. This is. And if we are playing with the left hand also, it can be useful to make a similar movement. As you see, they're moving in the opposite way. So our hands can move in the opposite direction, but they can make the same movement, just the opposite way. We support and release and support again. And release and support. And this passage is twice as long because we have 2 bars of arpeggios, and it's different. As you see, we had that. We had to support our 4th and 5th fingers, but this time is a combination much more stronger and stable with the 2nd finger. But I would say keep the same movement. You see? This is my support point, and I release tension, support, yes, and then I would say the same here. This is a support point, this one also, and this. And this time we're applying the 4 core pillars. If you don't know which are them yet, I'm talking about alignment, posture. We need to have a good posture from our hands, bridge. It needs to be strong and solid. And also our body. Our body needs to be in a vertical position to have the right distance from the piano and to be able to reach all the keyboard. The 2nd pillar is strength. We need strength in our fingers especially. The 3rd pillar is weight, which we're talking about in all of the support points and release points. We need to use our own weight to produce the sound. And the 4th pillar is flexibility, which we are using every time we move our wrist, elbows, and also using our shoulders, having them very relaxed. This passage repeats once more, but in a different key. G minor. And this is exactly the same we need to do. Then we have very similar fire part, energetic part. And this time is in D minor. It's the same movement we talked about earlier. This part is another transition to arrive to the coda. And I would say this passage, as you see, we're changing. This part of our hand is playing the same all the time, and also this one. And I would say this is kind of a trill, but with a change here. B, A, B, A. We would play a trill. You see, this is the movement. A bit of swinging in your wrist to release tension and rest. This one is the most difficult because it's with the hand very extended, and especially for people with small hands, it's more difficult. So be sure to relax, to release the tension. You see? Especially in these two fingers. And we arrive to the last part, to the coda. How to play this? Please don't repeat it just playing the notes. This is not gonna be useful. You need to find where to rest and how to move your hands, how to naturally find the movement and the sensations. Pay attention. We have a support point in our hands, the two hands. So that's a very useful thing for us to rest. And we released in the second note of our left hand. And that would be the same for the rest. This one is just a bit longer, but this is the support. And this is a rest point. Same. Here. Is a bit different for the right hand. We have the support point just in the beginning of each beat. And it's different for each hand. And this is a interesting movement because our hands are exactly moving in the opposite way, just as we also saw in this arpeggio and here. This one, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And here, down here, down, down, the same. This is the same movement, just like mirroring the movement, both hands bent here. We start floating and moving right in the country direction. This time we change, and we have a chromatic scale and a repeated note in the pinky. So the most interesting melody would be in the lowest part of the passage. And we go exactly to the first note of the beat. Left hand, keep playing the same. Up, down, up, down. Here is up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So let's play it slowly to see how both hands move in combination. And here there is a small tips for people with small hands. Here, as you see, we have a tenth, and at least for me it's quite difficult to play that, and I can't play it both at the same time with one hand. So I play it with my right hand, because in this case it's possible. See? And I don't have to change anything when it's written. Same. Here we change. We have a crescendo. It starts here. I would say play very legato here. And here, I like to think them in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And this is different passage, but if you see them as group of 3, it's gonna be much easier to understand them. once you learn them, you can then phrase them as a long phrase what is written. This is just the last part to polish our technical skills. And again, we need a strong hand to really hold these triads. We have to support all these triads. And as you see, my hand is moving in circles. I support the triad and then suddenly move my hand in a circle to the right to pass my way through my fingers. This is the second one. But you really have to feel the triad in your fingers before being able to play them. You can play them separated, just like this, in portato. That way you are gonna have the chord very sure and solid in your fingers. And after that, you add the thumb. Just to see what is happening in the left hand, we have just a similar opposite movement. Here is the same. Here is the same movement, same direction. All the support points are in the first note of each beat. You see? My wrists are down and then they move up when I'm releasing the tension. Here the same. This is the perfect arpeggio to release your tension and to relax a lot in the air. The same movement in the right hand. And as we said before, with these triads, Chopin really wants us to have the chords position in our hands. This is a diminished chord, so just to have it in our hands. And once we have it, the position, we just make the movement and relax. That's all for today. Please let me know what are you playing right now. If it's useful to try out these concepts into your repertoire. Also start practicing the 5 exercises I have in my playbook to start strengthening your fingers, also your hand bridge, and you're gonna feel the difference right away into your practice. See you in the next time.